There's been a lot of discussion about the halftime show at the Super Bowl. There's been memes flying around, but that was not the most important part of what we were shown on Sunday. The thing that stood out to me was the MetaQuest 2 commercial, where Facebook is advertising their headset, their VR headset. If you're paying for a Super Bowl slot, you're like giving this your best shot. Like, this is Facebook's A game. MetaQuest 2 is an Oculus product, but that's owned by Facebook. This is Facebook's hardware. Their VR set for you to enter into a whole new reality. So you have this animatronic band and this dog who are singing this song. They're living their best life. Things could not be any better than how they are now. This is the high, ultimate pinnacle of their existence. Except people are going to forget about them as they sing, "Don't You Forget About Me." Things shut down. The dog he's in decline. Things are not going well. The lights are off. He is sad. It's anthropomorphized, animatronic, plush dog. Now he's on a putt-putt course. He's trying out different jobs. He's trying out different things in the real world, mind you, and it's all very depressing. The real world's very depressing, and now he's kind of like going down into the pit. He's now falling out of a truck on the side of the road. He's trash. He's falling apart. The elements and animals are ripping at him. I mean, this is the real world. If there was anything about the real world from Facebook's perspective, you just saw it. That you had this good thing going. It's like the plot of a movie. Like, things were good, things got bad, and then the resolution to the climax of the movie at the end is normally like relationships get restored, the love interest comes back, people's lives are better, like in real life. Like, you don't end a romantic comedy or a romance movie that at the end they're all just wearing headsets, just bumping around in their living rooms because now the world is better than it was when you had to face reality and walk out there in the cold or amongst the coyotes on the side of the road. And now he's being demolished. Like, he is at his wit's end. There is no way out. And by the way, he's completely passive in all of this, right? Although he is animatronic, he has no control over his existence. He has no control over his future. He can't make any decisions that would ever make the real world any better than it was. What's the solution to all of this? How do you get out of the pit? It's the metaverse. It's Oculus. It's the MetaQuest 2. Like, don't you know if you strap this thing on your head, everything's going to get better? And somebody notices this, like this poor dog, like he still has some life left in him. This animatronic guy could be set up at like a museum or a hardware store or something and still have some life. But even that's not enough. Like, things are better. But you know what he really needs? He really needs to escape from all sense of reality and to be able to get back to his best life in VR with his old friends, to reconnect with them, and then everything would be better. He's finally moving again. He's finally found his mojo. Like, he's coming back in VR. Like, he couldn't do this in the real world. He could not handle the real world. Okay, let me stop this again. This dog was completely passive and unable to move himself forward in the real world. Like, he did not know how to grow up and engage life and do life like well as a whole mature animatronic dog, anthropomorphized dog person. He's finally coming back out of the pit, and the way out of the pit didn't happen until the headset got on, because before the headset got on, he was like in a position just like he was before the trash compactor, like just kind of there pointing the way to stuff. The animatronic stuff's not working well, like nothing's going well for this guy. But the headset fixes it all, okay? So if you don't know how to live your life, if you don't know how to engage the real world, if you think your best days are behind you, but you're looking for something better, then according to Facebook, is through VR, it's through the metaverse, don't you know? And so now everybody's laughing, they're happy, the old friends are back, he's smiling, he's engaged, he's moving, his pupils are dilating, as the serotonin is rushing in, the dopamine is rushing in, and the oxytocin is flooding his mind, and his memories are coming back, and he's triumphant. It's MetaQuest 2, only $2.99. Like, you can have your life back for $2.99. That's all it takes. It doesn't take any initiative on your part. It doesn't take learning how to communicate. It doesn't take learning how to resolve conflict. It doesn't take learning new skills. It doesn't take getting an education. It doesn't take going to scripture. It doesn't take a relationship with God. It doesn't take a community of faith who is holding you accountable or encouraging you. It doesn't take anything that it takes in the real world. What you really need is a headset. Then you can bump around your living room with other people who are bumping around their living room and live your best life, because your best life in the real world was in the past. But your best life in the future is not in the real world, according to Facebook. I mean, listen to me, hear me very clearly. Like, this was Facebook's best shot at convincing you to buy their product and to enter their environment was to convince you that you are helpless to engage the real world and that the only way to have a better day is to buy this thing and to engage in this alternate reality. Sad. Like, I'm beyond disturbed by this message, and we really need to watch out for our kids with this, because just like with any kind of technology, this is going to go rampant. They're going to get obsessed. They're going to be compulsive in this. They're not going to know any other way to relate to people. If we literally thought like this was kids learning not to relate with real people, and we're going to all have hunches in the future, and everyone's going to be looking at their feet because everyone's going to have spine problems, and the chiropractic industry is going to go ballistic. We thought this was bad all day. You look around a room and everyone, is on their phone, adults, children, everybody. This is far worse. This is far, far worse. Teach your kids how to engage their life. Your life is not depressing. The real world is not depressing. There's amazing things out there, and you're going to have to grow. You're going to have tension. You're going to have conflict. Like, I'm telling you, the Facebook metaverse is going to absolutely discourage any challenge to your life, because just like Facebook itself, they're going to make money by selling you ads and billboards as you're walking around the virtual world to see like product placement. Like, that's Heinz ketchup on the counter, okay? Heinz paid to put that there in the metaverse. And they're going to want to keep you on the platform for as long as possible. And the way to keep you on the platform for as long as possible is to make it a platform in an environment where you are not disturbed, where people do not bother you, where there is no conflict, and where you are okay and safe. But the world is not safe. The real world is not safe, and that's not always a bad thing. We need challenge, we need obstacles, we need opposition, because we need to grow. And the metaverse is going to absolutely stunt the spiritual, emotional maturation of well-rounded people. We're going to end up with a generation of just slothful blobs who don't know how to encounter and engage the world. It's incredibly scary. I don't want my kids really to have a whole lot to do with it. I want them to learn how to be robust, strong people, that we don't just remove all the obstacles and just pat them on the head and just say, yeah, enjoy all the commercials in this metaverse. You go out and do product placement. How are they going to buy it? Well, they're going to buy it through online orders where they don't even have to go to the supermarket and wait in a line and talk with a cashier who's bagging your groceries, and maybe they do it in a way that you don't like and you have to engage that in actual conversation. The metaverse is going to try to remove all of that from your existence so that you stay on the platform, you engage with the ads, you buy the products, and Facebook's market share and ad revenue goes through the roof as they target you with the things that they know you are most looking at. They can now, they're literally going to track where you're looking. If I'm looking at this correctly, I've not heard anyone say this. If they're smart, they're going to track what your eyeballs are drawn to, and they're going to give you more of that to boost the dopamine and the serotonin levels to keep you on the platform, okay? Pay attention. Don't be asleep at the wheel. Check out what your kids are doing. This is an absolute mess, and this is their best shot at convincing you that this is for you. Well, it's not. If you're up for a slovenly lifestyle of not ever being challenged or growing or going deeper into your maturity or your faith, and maybe this is for you, but not for me. Just not for me. Not for virtual church, not any of that. No, give me the real world with all of its challenges, all of its bumps and bruises, all of its hard conversations, because we are better for it. There it is. Bye.